Merry meet, Annie here. A short video, a personal thank you I want to put out there for those of you who have been supporting my daily seasonal postings. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time because it's an expression of what I already do myself and what's always been part of all of my circles, the daily consideration of what a season might be. I know that some of the things that I share are interesting and some of them, well, not so. We are talking 365 possibilities to consider in the turning of the year. So some of them are going to be personally meaningful or of interest and some aren't. I didn't know if any of you would even watch short videos, but what I am finding is that some of you are really looking forward to them and you're commenting and engaging with them, and I can't let that go without thanking you. In hard times and in times of celebration, the entire length of my life, the Wheel of the Year has literally sometimes saved my life. So I suppose I want to share some aspect of that power, and I also want to share the fact that as I experience my Wiccan journey, it's never failed to be about three things: the gods, the elements, and the seasons. Lots of things have changed and shifted with new discoveries and also finding, well, different ways of looking at things that aren't new. And that happens to this very day. Some of the things I share in these daily thoughts on what the season might be, well, they go back to the early 70s. They've been in my seasonal journal all along. Others are things that have been introduced along the way. Sometimes I remember why, and sometimes I have no clue how they showed up. I mentioned in a recent one that so often when I share something from these reflections, I'll mention something about back in the day. Well, I have a lot of days in my back, so I have a lot of things to look back on. And almost always they center on the folks I've met along the way, who have mentored and guided me, who have been teachers and challengers in some instances. So yeah, there's nostalgia to me in some of these reflections. I remember how they came into my considerations. I'm always fascinated each year when I remember something that triggered one of my reflections. And some of those somethings have been fairly recent in life, up until this very week when I've been inspired to do some journaling from students in our Season of the Seeker and Season of the Dedicants programs with new insights that they have. Well, just this morning, I read an email from someone who I've become very close through the Season of the Dedicant. I am so blessed by the people that are part of our programs. And that person reminded me of something I've known all along. These reflections on the Wheel of the Year, and are now being, for instance, in the season of Samhain. There are sometimes long seasons of Samhain in the length of our lives. Blocks of times that may be months or even years when we live completely within a season. And not that we want to be so completely within a season, but we don't have what we need. We're exploring it and discovering it in order to move on to the next season in our life. Oh, I knew this about the seasons. I often say when I'm guiding people about the gods and looking for their matrons and patrons, matrons and patrons tend to show up for the moment, for a reason, or for a season. And the Wheel of the Year is like that too. When we think of the deeper meanings of all of the seasons, sometimes we experience them for a moment at any given moment in our life. Other times, we experience them for a length of time within our lives because there's a reason why we need the wisdom of that particular season. We need to be with it. We need to be it before we can move on. And then there are, well, Indeed, seasons that live with us the length of our life, because we are reminded when we have an earth-based practice centered on the wheel of the year, it's always summer or spring or fall or winter. Every aspect of the seasons live within us, just as every aspect of the elements live within us. So, well, a new old reflection came to me today because of something someone shared. And then there are the times when it's a completely new insight, a new word, a new challenge, a new inspiration as to what the season might be. I know for some of you who've watched these videos, the concept of the season extending beyond the Sabbath Eve, in which it is originally celebrated, was new. But, nature doesn't happen in moments. Nature happens in periods of times and transformations and evolutions, and we are one with that process. I love the comments I'm seeing on these videos. You have inspired me to think. I have probably added a lot of new notes to my journal specifically because of the comments that some of you have been making on these particular videos. Others are asking, what about topic videos and videos on particular subjects? And, well, I'm not saying that won't happen, but it won't happen for a while. Season of the Dedicant is rolling along, and there is a lot of work to be done to prepare for, write the chapters and record the sessions for that. And, well, we all need to take a look at how we spend our time and know what we need to give where in any season in our life. I continue to be very glad to be back here and in conversations with all of you. And this morning, as I began to record today's reflection on the labyrinth and the season of Samhain, I wanted to share with you how much those of you who are enjoying these videos, how much you mean to me. Your comments mean a lot. Your likes mean a lot. Well, I was bound and determined to do this series because I made a promise to my gods I'm going to do it for a year. And, well, in moments when maybe I don't feel like taking out the camera, much easier for me to write than to record, in all honesty, time-wise, if for no other reason. In my moments of, well, hesitation in the moment, maybe I'll just journal this and stick it on Patreon. I then record a video because there's 100 or so of you who look forward to these each day. I like the fact that that puts us in the same place together, that we're journeying through this season together. I like the fact that, well, 6 months from now, my friends in the Southern Hemisphere will be journeying with me in their season of Samhain. I like what it brings together in us. It's mattered deeply to me to have your support in this little project that's not so little of mine. And I want you to know that when I upload these, it is with love, and it is with a spirit of community, that perhaps in all the many different ways in which we are going to be different, and even your view of the seasons will be different than mine. Maybe in some instances, maybe in a lot of instances. But we're together in that moment. When you watch one of my videos in this series, you and I in that moment are sharing time. It doesn't matter that we're not in the same place or it's not the same time of day. Many of us are practicing witches, and we know all about meeting each other in a place and a time that's really not a place and a time. I don't take these postings lightly. Some of them were inspired by the wisdom of my teachers. Some of them have been inspired by those who, well, they saw me as teacher, but oh, what they taught me. Others are inspired by fellow journeyers in all different kinds of faith traditions, who over the years have compared notes on what could this season teach us. In the end, this is just a video of gratitude to thank you. These videos, these particular series, is never going to be watched by a lot of people. But what I'm finding is those who are watching and commenting, there's a sincerity of connection there that just means the world to me. The season of Samhain is about understanding community, perhaps where we fit into it and how we are inspired by others. It's the time of year for storytelling, after all. I watch your videos when I have the chance because I want to hear your stories. And I am picking up from your comments that some of you are enjoying my stories too. I just want to leave you some love today and my heartfelt gratitude. I wish you mirth and reverence. Merry part.